When we think about how Voldemort was finally defeated, our minds often go to the chosen hero, Harry Potter, or the quiet manipulations of Albus Dumbledore. But what if the true fulcrum of the entire war wasn't a hero, but a victim? What if the path to victory was paved not by bravery, but by the long, bitter shadow of Severus Snape? The story of the Marauders is often told as a tragedy of friendship and betrayal, but the truth is more complicated. By focusing their cruelty on Snape, they inadvertently forged the single most important double agent of the war. If we actually look at their worst moments, we can see how their actions, driven by arrogance and malice, created the very obsession and heartbreak that would ultimately lead to the Dark Lord's downfall. It all kicks off at Hogwarts with 4 students who bonded over their shared talent for trouble: James Potter, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. They didn't just break the rules, they mastered the system to dominate it. Their masterpiece was the Marauders map, but this wasn't just a tool for sneaking around, it was an instrument of power that gave them an advantage no one else had. For Severus Snape, this map represented the constant threat of his tormentors. It meant they could find him, corner him, and humiliate him anywhere, at any time. The map was their key to seeing and getting around authority, allowing their bullying to go unchecked. That one piece of parchment, born from teenage arrogance, wasn't a blueprint for rebellion. It was the architecture of the very oppression that would harden Snape and set him on his dark, complicated path. Let's be honest, guys. The defining conflict of the Marauders era was James Potter's relentless bullying of Severus Snape. This bitter, nasty rivalry was, in a strange way, completely essential. The constant fighting eventually led to the Shrieking Shack incident, where Sirius plays a prank that was, in reality, a potential murder, luring Snape to face a transformed werewolf. James, realizing the consequences, steps in and saves him, indebting Snape to his worst enemy. This rivalry is also what ultimately cost Snape the one person he cared about, Lily Evans. James's eventual maturity won her over, a loss that would define the rest of Snape's life. And what about that toxic obsession? Dumbledore would later weaponize it. Fueled by the grief and guilt of losing Lily, Snape's enduring love compelled him to become a double agent, his loyalty forever tied to protecting the son of the woman his nemesis had won. At the heart of the Marauders was a dangerous secret, Remus Lupin's lycanthropy. His friends reacted with a radical, defiant acceptance, becoming illegal animagi to support him. This incredible act of friendship, however, had a dark side. It created an insular, fiercely loyal clique that felt above the rules and justified in their treatment of outsiders. This defiant friendship, the very thing that would one day make Lupin a kind and empathetic mentor for Harry, is also what enabled the group's worst cruelties. Their bond gave them the confidence and the power to target Snape. The Shrieking Shack, the site of their secret solidarity, became the location of Snape's near-death experience. The same loyalty that built a future mentor for Harry was the very engine of the torment that shaped his greatest protector. It's almost poetic in a tragic way. After Snape delivered the prophecy to Voldemort, he was horrified to learn it targeted the Potters and begged Dumbledore to save Lily. The Marauders' greatest strength, their bond, then became their fatal weakness. For years, Peter Pettigrew's loyalty was assumed, putting him in the perfect position to destroy them. It was Sirius Black's clever idea to use Pettigrew as the secret keeper in a double bluff. That single act of misplaced trust sealed the Potters' fate. Peter's betrayal led Voldemort straight to their door, resulting in Lily's sacrifice, the very event Snape had tried to prevent. This ultimate failure became his life's purpose. It activated the magical protection over Harry and cemented Snape's role as a double agent, now bound by a promise to protect the child of the woman he loved and failed to save. The Marauders' implosion provided the final, tragic piece that set Snape's grim, heroic path in stone. When you really break it down, the Marauders' legacy is inextricably tied to the man they tormented. Does seeing their story through the lens of Severus Snape's suffering change how you see their actions? I'd love to know what you think, So let us know down in the comments. And if you enjoy digging into the hidden, messy corners of the wizarding world, be sure to subscribe for more. So no, in the end you can't really call the Marauders heroes. They were bullies, they were rebels, and in one case, a traitor. And yet, the chaos they inflicted upon Snape was constructive. The rivalry James fueled inadvertently created the spy who would fool the Dark Lord. The secret they kept for Lupin empowered the cruelty that led to Snape's defining loss. And the betrayal that tore them all apart is what ultimately locked Snape into his role as Harry's secret guardian. They didn't build the framework for a hero. They created the conditions for a broken man to save the world. It just goes to show you that sometimes the world isn't saved by saints, but by the complicated, messy, and deeply flawed people who rise from the ashes of their own tragedy.